Hello and good afternoon. We are here today with Nicole Gabai, and I'm Angela Brown, and we are here. And I've got a really interesting session for you today because today we're going to have that discussion about what do you do and how do you organize your house and what do you do with the holiday decorations before and after the holidays and all the things. So please help me welcome Nicole Gabai. Nicole, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for being here today. I want us to start thinking in terms of what is our back to one? What is our back to one in a simple term at the dinner table? What is back to one? And can I get back to one at the end of every meal? So that becomes the
Mhm.
new norm.
Yeah,
Instead of us just saying, well, I'll throw today's mail on the dinner table and then
yeah,
hope by dinner time, what? It's going to mysteriously disappear because it never
yeah.
does.
No.
And
Mm-mm.
it piles up day after day after day. And then it becomes a big stack of stuff. And then it
Oh, yeah.
becomes overwhelming.
And then
But
it
if
looks like you gave permission to everything end up there. Now packages are there and now bags and maybe your jacket gets thrown there and an old pair of socks. It just adds up.
Well, if you will give us a quick overview in
Mhm.
a home, what are the back to ones? Like there's a back to one at the dinner table, what it's going to look like when it gets back to one. And
Yes.
then there's a back to one after we brush our teeth at the bathroom vanity. There's a back to one where we reset everything for the next time we come in. Share
Yeah.
with us what some of the back to ones are so we can start focusing on those tiny little areas of the home as we reboot the new year. We can
Yes.
start thinking in terms of what is this area that is a back to one. What does that look like?
Yeah. Like you said, there's definitely each room of the house needs to have its back to one. And a lot of it is decision making. When I go to a client's home and I see stacks and piles of things, I know a lot of decisions haven't been made. So it is, getting real with yourself and saying, okay, I'm going to make my office back to one. What do I really want this to look like when I end every day? Because ideally, you spend 15 minutes at the end of a day getting that space back to one. So when you walk in the next day, you're ready, you're inspired, you're ready to go. You're not bogged down again because let's face it, when you see all the clutter, it is not very inspiring. So I would really look at every room of your house, including, like you said, the bathroom. What's your vanity going to look like back to one? And there may be 2 days that you just can't get it all back to one that day or the next day. Well, then you spend the third day, spend maybe 20 minutes putting everything back where your back to one is. And that even goes so far as to look at every drawer because each step of the way, your things need a place to go. So, what I call the bottleneck, you have to identify where's the bottleneck. If the drawer is so full of stuff and whatever is accumulated, then clearly your vanity can't get back to one because there's nowhere for those things to go. So, ultimately, everything, every piece of paper needs a home. And that's really what back to one is about is making those decisions. What do I want this space to look like where I feel I am clear headed, I'm peaceful. This room looks serene to me. I like where it is. And that's your back to one. So even at that dining table, it may not be a cleared off dining table. Maybe you keep a centerpiece. Maybe you have a couple candles or whatever fits that room or that ambiance you want to create. That's your back to one.
So my question is, how useful is it to take a picture of back to one and say, okay, this is what my bathroom vanity looks like
Mhm.
when it's back to one. And
Yeah.
then before you leave for the night, like, okay, I just brushed my teeth and I'm really tired. Like this is the night that I fall asleep with my makeup on. I forgot to put my retainers in.
Yeah.
Before you leave, you're like, whoa, where's that picture? And you're like, whoa, that's back to one. And I'm looking around, you're like, whoa, wait a second. This is out of place. That's out of place. And you match it up with what you've decided is back to one. How
That's
useful would a picture be so that you can remind yourself until
yeah.
it becomes the new norm?
That's a great idea. And the thing is, too, remember, it does change. Life is not static. We don't live in that photo moment. You may add a new product. You may change up the blow dryer. You don't like those, whatever hair products now. You want to try the new products. So it does have a fluid way about it, but definitely taking a picture is a great idea. And it's funny, but having a tray, having all the little bits and things that are just sort of floaty, putting them in a tray, not a giant tray, but just a small, like any kind. It could be made out of wood or ceramic or whatever. Just putting it in a tray just kind of corrals the things that are just sitting around until you have that time to put them where they belong. So it's not only about what back to one looks like, it's also about what the drawers and the cabinets look like. How did you divide up those spaces? to receive the things that are on the countertop. You know?
Thank you so much, Nicole, for joining us today.
You're
This was so
welcome.
much fun.
Well,
And
you're
I
welcome. It was great. Thanks for having me. Oh, and by the way, the book is available on Amazon or any bookstore. It's distributed through Ingram Books, so it's worldwide distribution.